The True Story of Three Little Pigs, as told by John Takaiza, illustrated by Lane Smith. By A. Wolf. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody's ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, but you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. Oink, oink. That's just the way they are. I mean, if cheeseburgers were cute, folks would think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing's all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor, he was a pig. It wasn't too bright either. He built his whole house out of straw. I mean, can you believe it? Who in their right mind would build a house out of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. Well, I didn't want to just walk into someone's house, so I called out, "Hey little pig, are you in?" Well, no answer. Just about to go home without a cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. But that's when his sneeze started in. He started itching. I felt the sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and achoo! You know what? The whole straw house came down. Right in the middle was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He'd been there the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying around, so I ate it up. Think of it like a big cheeseburger. It's just lying there. Well, I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to my next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He's a little smarter, but not much. He built his house out of sticks. Well, I rang the bell, and nobody answered. I called out, "Hey, Mr. Pig! Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, Wolf! You can't come in! I'm shaving the hairs of my chin! I just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed this crazy, achoo! And you're not gonna believe it. This guy's house, he fell in just like his brothers. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig. Dead as a doorknob. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you let it sit in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it like a second helping. But I was getting awfully full. My cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that sugar for my granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house, and this guy, he was the first and second little pig's brother. He was the brains of the family because he built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the door. No answer. I called out, "Hey, Mr. Pig, are you in?" You know what that rude little porker said? "Get out of here, Wolf! Don't bother me again!" Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. He wouldn't even give me one little cup. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on again. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed again. Achoo! Then that third little pig yelled out, "And your old granny, she can sit on a pin." Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fella, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, I was trying to break down the door, and I was huffing and puffing and sneezing, and you get it. I was making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history.
The big bad wolf?
These news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner, and they didn't like the sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar. It didn't sound really exciting. It's like jazz up the story with that huff and puff and blow down your house, and they called me the big bad wolf. That's it, man. That's my story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar.